Greetings to you, my ardent follower. I want to say I appreciate you so much for being a follower of this channel. I love you so much with the love of Christ. This is Old Man Erianyu Loapeda, and I am here in my channel bringing you the real story of the day. And the story is as this. What would you do? I begin with a question. What exactly would you do if you found another man with your wife on your very own bed? What would be your response? How would you treat it? It is so amazing, my friend, how this gentleman reacted when he eventually found out that there was another man who used to commune and fellowship with his wife in a manner that is very immoral. This is Erianula Pedna, and I'm here at the heart of the Pearl of Africa. I love you so much. What is your story today? This gentleman was such a loving gentleman, a gentleman who loved his wife so much. You know what I mean to say? When you love and treasure so much this thing called your wife, you will do everything in your capacity to ensure that the person is well taken care of. This is a duty of a man to take care of his wife, to take care of his children. What happens on a day when a man packs up and he decides to go and look for means of livelihood? A businessman who used to cross the borders to go to Kenya to shop clothes and return to sell them in order to sustain his family. He did everything in his capacity to ensure that his wife had a livelihood and a wonderful home, a lively home. However, certain characters also caught up with her. What are these characters? When this gentleman would leave home, the wife who would remain home would instead welcome another gentleman who would come, and they would do so many other things, including bed games, in the bed of another man who had married her. Now, one time, a neighbor tips this gentleman and says, "You know what? Every other time you leave this home, immediately you leave this home, another gentleman walks to your home. And what we hear in the house seems to be screamers, screams that describe a certain game that your wife is playing with another man." "What? Are you sure?" asked this man. "Yes, I am sure." Who was this? A concerned friend, a concerned neighbor who would not simply look at this and ignore. What exactly happened? This gentleman gets troubled so much in his spirit and he says, "Well, I need to give it a benefit of doubt and investigate personally and find out what is this thing that is cooking in my own house." My listener. So he hatches out a plan that is deadly and he says, "My wife, I am packing up and I shall be going. But this time round, my journey is going to be at least 2 weeks." And this sweet, loving wife packs up for the husband and says, "Well, I really wish you the best and I pray that you may go and make money and come back so that we can make our home beautiful." I don't know whether she loved the husband so much or the husband did not satisfy her needs. I don't know. But this was a sweet woman who would pack for her husband, and the husband would leave when he's a happy man and would return only to fall onto his shoulders and welcome him with fullness of smiles. What? Yes, this was very real. Aggie was such a beautiful woman, a loving wife, a wife who adored the husband, but also had a certain character in her that was wicked, cheating on her husband on her very own bed, her very own husband's bed. What a what a dull thing, what a wicked thing she could do. So now this gentleman packs up and he leaves. And he tells her, "Sweetheart, I am going for a journey. And I think this time round it will take me some good time to return home. Sweetheart, I wish you the best," says this lady. And then he goes to town, having made an appointment with this wonderful neighbor who tipped him that your wife seems to be having screamers in her bedroom when you're not there. And surely, as this gentleman packs up and leaves, it did not take 3 hours. What? 3 hours. And this gentleman arrived. I'm talking about the one who has been cheating on this gentleman with his wife. And somebody tips this gentleman and says, you know what? The game is ongoing. And this gentleman decides to catch up with the border border so fast he came back. And luckily enough, the door had not been shut. Even the door to the sitting room that had been left open, but the one that leads to the bedroom had been left. This house was arranged in such a manner that when you leave the bedroom, you come straight to the sitting room and then you pass out. So he hears screamers and he gets perturbed, troubled in his spirit, and he says, what do I do? This is my very own wife, a woman that I love. Why would she do such a thing to me? Ah! What if it was you, my friend? How would you react? Don't you think it would be terribly, terribly very wrong? I know wicked thoughts can come into your heart and you can do something dangerous. Now, what happens? Having thought of what to do and realizing that all options would lead him to doing something dangerous, as to either to kill or to destroy and to take a life. And an idea comes in him, just pick your bottle of wine and put it there and invite her to come and take wine with you, including her husband. My goodness. And this is exactly what he did. He got his wine from the bag, packed it on the table, and then he, he called from the bedroom, Aggie, Aggie, come and we take some wine. Also, invite your very own dear boyfriend to come so that we can sit down and take some wine as we chat. Ah, when she heard this, she screamed. He said, no, don't scream. I just said, come and take your seat and let's have some wine. What? And this lady comes out, this gentleman pops out and he runs out naked. What? He ran out naked because he knew this wine is not genuine wine. It must be my very own blood that should turn to be wine. And of course, he took an opportunity to take off. Now, what remains is this very gentle, this lady here. She comes back and she says, now, my husband, I'm very sorry. She kneels down and says, forgive me. I did not know what I was doing. In fact, I was doing this. My heart was telling me, I have overdone it. I should stop it. But my body is telling me, continue. And he says, no, there's no problem. Just sit down and we discuss. Take some wine. And after he had taken one, he said, now, why exactly were you doing this? And she had no answers to addressing this matter. How to address this matter became a challenge. So what happens? He says, well, I'm good. What you can do, because you've enjoyed it alone and have been dangerously selfish unto yourself, sparing nothing for he that provides for you, and locking yourself in a house with another gentleman who did not make it. What if it was you? How would you have felt? Would you simply have said, I leave these people, or I find a way of clearing them? I looked for a way of destroying you and your friend, but I realized that it would all lead me to jail. So the best thing I can do is to ask you to come and take wine. So you sit down and take wine. And she thought maybe it would be an easy thing after being invited to take wine. After taking a glass of wine, of course, the person was told to pack up and leave. Yes, of course, having packed up, she was told, pack up whatsoever you want, right from the very first thing that you see on the door there. Pack it and ensure that you go with it. I know you might say that there is something you left in the house. She looked at this man and says, no, why should I go with the things? He says, no, simply pack up because I know those things will help you wherever you are going. And having bargained and talked and talked and talked, the gentleman said, please go because I might turn on you and use the panga on you. And she calls the vehicle and they pack up. She packs up the things and she leaves. They will come at home, but she cannot tell the people at home that this is exactly what happened between us. And they asked her, what about this full vehicle? And those are just things that I picked from home. My husband has told me to come for a short while. I will return. No truth in this woman still. They welcome her home. She stays 1 week, 2 weeks. The things that she had taken, many of them just got wasted. Others simply loaned, say, please give me this fridge, give me this TV. And of course, after a short while, people say, your story seems to be unreal. You said you're coming here for a short time and you've stayed beyond. What is happening with your husband? They call her husband, and all she tells them is that I told her to pack up and come back home because I found her in bed with another man, my own bed. And they said, woman, so you are here deceiving us, and yet you brought men to your husband's room, and all you've been doing is to cheat on him on his own bed. Why wouldn't you have taken him probably somewhere in a lodge? Things caught up with her, and she was chased and told, go back and repent before your husband. But remember, the man told her, sit down and take wine, and this is the very last I can do with you. Shortly after, when she came back, she knocks on the door of her husband, and what comes out is another face of a woman, so beautiful and pretty. And the woman says, there is a woman waiting for you here outside. Says, which woman is that? Said, come and see for yourself. And when this gentleman came, he saw the very woman she found cheating on him with another man. And he says, what have you brought? What has brought you here? He says, I'm sorry. She kneels down. He says, no, you can't kneel down. This is not time for you to ask for forgiveness. You did it, and you did it not just once, but on several occasions. How dare you do such a thing? And now you come back here. Have you come back to kill me? Shortly, he called police, and police came and swept this woman. They took. I said, that is the woman who wanted to kill me in my own house. She has come to take my life. Please take her. She pleaded with this man to no avail. And what happened? Later on now, they took her in, and he said, please never appear in my house. Now, my dear listener, if you were the man, would you have told this woman to take wine with you? Would you have even listened to her? Well, this man had to listen to her. He gave an ear and he asked her a question. Why were you doing this? And even told her, take your wine, let us wine. What a gentle approach. I'm sure if he was to have held a panga, he would have slaughtered her or even slaughtered her man. But he spared them and he said, let me just relax. Hear my last words with her and permit her to go. This was truly a gentleman in action, but he released her once and for all. This woman, having come out of prison, never again stepped there. She's totally a wasted woman today, a total prostitute who moves from man to man. She has failed in life. And all she says, I made a mistake. I left the right man. I didn't know I was foolish. So she's repenting. So you are out there. Maybe you have learned a lesson. Would you do such a thing? Or if you wanted, would you really have sat down and thought of a deadly idea so as to bring another man on your husband's bed? Could it not be a wise idea to take it elsewhere? Uh-huh. So for those of you who really think cheating is a good game. So this is the story of the day. The man simply said, sit down, let's take wine. But remember, that was the last wine. Ladies, this is for you. Let us be careful. Don't ever do such a thing, because the day you will do it and they get you, it will be one more last glass of wine and you're gone. Love you so much. You who are my listeners, recommend this channel to another friend and let us listen to life stories, and you will learn. Subscribe and be a member, and let us grow in numbers. Love you guys.